Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3, guys. Yo, what's up? Welcome back to Vencabot. Batman Arkham Asylum action. My name is David. Man, I have no clue where we are in this game. Let's go find out. We're halfway through, though, including all the collectibles. That's nice. This game's pretty short. And compared to Zelda, I think it's pretty easy to 100%, right? Because they give you a lot of hints on where things are. Which, for me, I like. It's quite nasally, huh? I don't even really know what that means. Let's keep the story going here. I'm going to lower the volume a smidge, I think. Just a smidge, though. We're in the mansion entrance hall. It's all poison ivy-ified. Okay. Why am I here? Does it show my goal on here? It does. Well, that'll... Oh, air and cash. Right. We gotta collect plant spores from Killer Croc's lair. Okay. So let's go talk to Cash. You might know about Croc. Whee. Oh, shit. Oh, no, that didn't work. I gotta find a way through, huh? I'm not allowed to be down there. Well, what if I aimed higher, right? This game is a really bizarre system. They never teach you, which is weird to me. That Batman's glide is entirely dependent on where you point the camera before you jump. Look at my noodle. What's up in my fucking head? Did I get bopped or what? Really, I got like some kind of mark there on my mask. Okay, well, let's go this mode, Bat Vision. Nothing, huh? But what am I missing here? I'm drifting very low. I can't just glide. Oh, yeah. I've got the thing now. All right, I got this power up. There we go. That's a danger, guys. One thing about being a streamer, I was thinking about this when I think about that Goron, the big Goron sword from Zelda, right? How I would have never solved that very simple puzzle for one reason. And that is that I had literally forgotten that I could show people my stuff. I can show people the stuff that Link has in his inventory. It wouldn't be fair to blame the developer for that, of course. I just forgot a very basic mechanic. But how does that happen? How do you just forget a very basic mechanic? And it's interesting how that can just totally stop your progress. Look at all this bullshit. I'll tell you how. Two things how. One is that you're hosting while you're playing. It means you're not totally engaged mentally. You're not, like, you're not staying focused on the game itself. And two is that time passes, right? You'll not play a game for, days and days and days. You're maybe playing a bunch of different games at once. And so things kind of get lost cognitively, Cognitively, they get lost. And that can kind of stop you up in really weird ways. Time passes, crime. Is it because you're dumb? Believe it or not, crime time does pass. But yeah, I've been thinking about that lately. It's kind of interesting how I could have never solved that puzzle just because I didn't remember that there was just a very basic thing about the game. I really just assumed that I had already done that before. If it were possible, and or that it wasn't possible. Can I blow you up or something? No. Well, what do you want from me here? I can drop down to that ledge, huh? Looks like I might be safe down there. Can't blame him for forgetting about time passing since he's so used to failure. Speaking of time passing, guys, Majora's Mask. We were just talking about that before the stream started. Oh, what the hell's back here? Goodies. Wow, cool ambient sounds. I'm pumped for Majora's Mask. Dick says, man, fuck Majora's Mask. Dick, what's the fucking attitude today, dude? What's the attitude today, man? I'm gonna do this? No, it's blocked. Better straighten up, Dix. Sounds like Beatles. The Blue Beetle. Well, normally Dix is a fucking model viewer, dude. Only brings positivity to the stream. Today he's getting a real attitude. Dix says, don't take that tone with me. I think I can shoot across here. Even though I have to lift my legs up, yeah. I don't trust these things. Why are they not hitting me with spores? This game is so goddamn good. Give me a moment here to worship this game, guys. When this game first came out, as I've said before in the stream, it was an instant classic. Everybody that played it was like, wow, this game is a classic. And it just came out. How is that possible? I mean, again, the production values, the details, the love and care put into every aspect of the game is just mind-blowing. Graphics, sound, gameplay, story. It's just fucking great. If you guys aren't playing the Arkham games, pick them up. Pick up Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, Arkham Origins, and Arkham Knight. Even though Arkham Knight's kind of felt like, didn't have the same kind of passion put into it, it's still a great game. If 3 Revenge wasn't such a grimy prick, I'd be in a better mood. There you go. Okay, I explained. That's what's curious, Dick. Just curious. What's the attitude today? Is 3 Revenge's fault? I can appreciate that. It's the throwbacks is crying.
Batman.
What's up, bro? What's up, Zach?
Figured the worst was over.
Dude, the worst is never over, guys. Keep that in mind.
I figured you'd be here about now. What's the deal with the plants?
It's complicated.
Let me guess. Poison Ivy. She teamed up with Joker.
All that matters is that I can stop the plants taking over the island, but...
There's always a but, isn't there?
Where do you keep
so.
Killer Croc?
Yeah,
I found
yeah,
a door
yeah,
in the
yeah,
sewers, but it's sealed shut.
That monster's got his own special cell. It's right below the transfer room back in
Dude, everybody has their own special cell in this
Elevator
place.
goes right down to an old sewer. You just drop meat down there every day or so and try to forget about it. It's locked off. More security than the Joker. You won't get in without the warden's permission. He has the codes.
Thanks, Cash.
Well, where's the warden? Can I
Stay
call him?
here and do not go near the plants. They'll kill you.
They'll kill you. Looks like an ogre. This guy. A little bit. The one thing that's not held up especially well is like the facial animations and stuff. But you know, for what they are, they're very stylized. I gotta respect that. I wish his eyes would move a little bit. It's kind of creeping me out how he always looks straight forward no matter where his head turns. What do you think makes a game a classic? I was thinking about this recently, guys. I was laying in bed thinking to myself, what makes something a classic? Here's what it is. Here's my theory. Tell me if you guys agree. It has to be of such a high quality that it stands out amongst the crowd. That's really all there is to it. And I think that's, as a critical gamer, as someone that is notorious for hating on video games, that's sort of speaks to, oh, what the fuck? What's up, bro?
Never thought I'd see a plant. A freaking plant ripping someone apart.
I didn't even see you there in the first place, dude. I think that I get frustrated when games come out that don't really stand out. Right? I guess the way I look at it is that, I guess the reason why the Vencabot hater scale was invented was that there are so many games that come out, and there have been so many games that have come out throughout history. How can you sell me a game if your game doesn't, like, stand out? I don't want to buy, the same game again, or a game that's inferior to a game that I've already played. I wish that developers would look at games that have come before and expand on those ideas, right? Or at least take those ideas and reinterpret them in a way that is innovative in some way. So I guess for me, a classic is a game that it comes out and it is so much fun to play. It is so good in so many respects that games in the future will be compared to it. Well, I mean, throughout history, Revenge. Like, again, when a game comes out, you might feel like it stands out at that time. And in that respect, it has potential to become a classic. But for a game to stand up, years and years later, because of those same qualities, that makes it an enduring classic. But yeah, you're exactly right, Revenge. For it to stand out in its time, you're talking about, the era. I guess what I'm trying to say, Revenge, is that it must stand out against all of gaming history. For me, that's what makes it a classic. When this game came out, it stood out for a lot of reasons. It was a great game. But for those that played it, they recognized that there was not anything quite like it before. It stood out against all of gaming history in a respect, which is a really impressive feat considering how many games there are. So Max says here, I rarely get my hopes up for games, but when I do, 9 out of 10 times I'm let down, huh? But I would totally buy a game I love several times. Oh yeah. In some cases, literally. But even then, I feel like it's because if I buy a game let's say literally the same game several times over. That's a great game. But if I buy a sequel to a game that is just the same game more or less again, that's because that style of play is still such a standout. I guess I'm trying to say is that a lot of games come out that are highly derivative, and they pale in comparison to the things they are derived from. That's what I find frustrating. I don't mind a game being derivative if the execution is there. And again, if what they're deriving from is, you know, worthwhile in the first place. But what pisses me off the most about, you know, the industry and about, you know, video games in general is how much stuff comes out and it is just not as good as something that came out before. Like, you had this template to work off of. So-and-so didn't, right? Hypothetically speaking, you know, so-and-so did, they had this idea totally brand new, more or less. Of course, nothing is new under the sun, but, you know, it was something that was, at the time, pretty innovative. And they made it work. And here you are trying to make the same shit, but yours is worse. Like, why? Just do what they did and expand upon it. Why can't it be as good? Does a game must influence future games to be a classic? I'm getting that vibe. Influence future games? I wouldn't say so. Because sometimes future games, future developers, future publishers don't have the awareness to know a good thing when they see it. Of course, you would expect for most classics to be influential, to have other games, you know, based on them. You would hope so, even. You would honestly hope so. But when you go through gaming history, you find a lot of games out there that are, you know, extremely good and with awesome ideas that, again, make them stand out against all of gaming history. But which no other, you know, publisher has fucked with. Correct position in life, huh? You gotta find a Riddler thing. But where are we exactly? This is simply a pretty small room. Yeah, they don't gotta be influential, yeah. Because, I mean, again, you would hope for them to be influential. You would like for people to take that idea and try to expand upon it. Put some competition in that space. But sometimes people just don't pick up on it. What's up, Cool Hand? Crime says, maybe it's complicated. Maybe you're complicated, Crime. You ever think about that, dude? So I'm looking for a question mark. But no can find. Maybe it's in here. Oh, I see. So this is all part of the same place. Okay, well, the correct position in life, huh? Well, that could be in a few places. Somewhere high, you would think. So it could be up on top of this building. Bet you it is. Could be over there somewhere. Cookies and Cream is a classic, those dicks. Yeah, look how society turned out in its ignorance. That's what I'm saying. Instead, we've got all this fucking Dark Souls fandom. So let's get really, really high up. This is going to be a tough one, I think. The correct position in life, it says. So we're looking for a Riddler trophy right now. In this case, not a trophy, but a hidden question mark. I'm going to sneeze here, guys. If you guys haven't played Arkham Asylum before, there's basically 3 kinds of Riddler challenges to collect. One is just literally a collectible. It's a little glowing question mark. You'll see them all over the place, like a little trophy, literally. The other ones are Batman Easter eggs. It'll say something like, you know, the riddle will be like, oh, you know, if you're a penguin, what do you need to hold in your hand? You'd be like, oh, an umbrella. Okay, you'll find the umbrella, take a photograph of it, that counts as an Easter egg, counts as a Riddler trophy, basically. The third kind is the most, I'd say the least used. And it's a perspective puzzle. It's a puzzle there where you have to connect the top of a question mark to the dot of the question mark. And so usually they'll have the top of it, you know, somewhere high. You gotta stand in a certain spot to line up the bottom of it somewhere else in the environment. It's pretty fun. Pretty cool idea. I'd probably love a well-executed Sims clone over a Sims clone with a good idea but bad execution. Totally agree, Cool Man. Totally agree. Yeah. What I'd love even more is a well-executed clone that has a good idea. But yeah, I guess what I'm saying, Cool Hand, is I guess where I would hypothetically disagree with you, and again, I'm not sure that I do at all, but I want to clarify that if a Sims clone comes out, right, and it is, let's say, fairly well executed, my complaint is that I still have The Sims. Like, you have to be, if you're going to come out cloning The Sims, you need to do something better than The Sims did. Even if you're not as good in every way, maybe you have something different that actually is better in some other way, right? If you don't have anything different that's good, then you better at least have what The Sims had. That's what I find frustrating. A lot of games come out that they don't add anything, good to the formula, but they also don't have what they're cloning in the first place. They don't have that totally nailed down yet. So why would I play your game over The Sims? Just for something new, right? And to me, that's sort of an issue. I feel like that's why retro games don't get the respect they deserve. Because there's this notion that I would rather have something new than something good, right? Like, yeah, I love The Sims. I already played The Sims. I want something new in that style. And don't get me wrong, I don't think that it's unreasonable to buy a hypothetical Sims clone that's not as good as The Sims if you just want more Sims. That makes sense to me. But I also think that those are games that will never become classics. Those are not games that really deserve that much praise. And instead, we need to. Oh, hey, look, there it is. So there's the top of the question mark. We gotta find the little dot right here. There it is. Those are fun little puzzles. Okay. Blap.
What? You found that one too? Preposterous.
Welcome aboard, Steve. It's called winning the lottery, huh? Steve says here, I missed a lot of Steve messages here. Holy shit. Hey, you got your mobile? Let's go. Dude, you gonna build your computer now? Only one of my RAM sticks was DOA. That's still kind of a drag, but glad you're getting it replaced. But you agree on all things, says Dix, huh? That's a really odd way of saying stupid. That is super common. Yeah, you have a game that comes out that takes an idea that another game had and, iterates on it, which again itself is not a bad thing. But I wish that they would pay some fucking attention and show some respect to the game that they're trying to expand upon. If you're going to do it, then do it. Don't half-ass it. See a little weird little dot down there? What the hell was that? Can I get over here? Because that'd be super sick. Is this going to hit an invisible wall? Oh! Come on, bro. No fucking hidden stuff over here? It's a cool spot. So you mean like Sims with adult sexual content? Yeah. Anything. So I can't climb this. This is like an awkward little spot. But it's cool. You're on it right now, Steve? You're making your PC? You're building it up? Well, you might buy something derivative simply to avoid the microtransaction slap in the face to Sims is now, yes. There's that too. But I think that it doesn't necessarily, that only supports the argument. This is an interesting little spot. Like, what the fuck? Why is this whole space over here? Spent fucking 4 hours trying to figure out why my flash drive with Windows was pissed about the drivers. Your flash drive was pissed about the drivers. I'm trying to understand. Turns out I didn't like the Mobo driver disk in my disk drive. Oh. Yeah, you gotta be careful, believe it or not. Yeah, I've had that same problem, Steve. The same exact problem. You gotta be careful when you're booting your PC what disk is in the drive. You would think that it would not matter. Like, at least as much as it does. But it does. You would think that if it wasn't a bootable disk, right, that it'd be fine. But sometimes it's not. This game is amazing. I also want to point out that for the same reasons that I described earlier, what appears to be a classic to one person will not be to another person, right? For instance, for me, Oblivion, Elder Scrolls 4, is in my top games of all time. And in many respects, I feel like it hasn't been matched. But I also didn't play Morrowind. And for a lot of younger gamers, that's an issue that, you know, a lot of people have. I think that when we see retro games not getting the respect they deserve, it's because people haven't played them. They don't have that exposure to them. And so they don't have that, same, you know, like, perspective that other gamers have. I think that everyone's, like, first Bethesda game is their favorite because the ones that came after were worse. If I played Morrowind, I might be more critical of Oblivion. The way that I am of Skyrim, for instance. Hey, guys. Ouch. Gotta remember how to play this game.
You hit like a girl.
Ouch.
You idiots!
Come on, you dum-dums. Oh, what the fuck? What a glitch. I'm supposed to hit that guy. Ow. Ow. Ow.
Where your face used to be.
Oh, shit. Got me.
Oh, isn't that cute?
They flipped into the wild, yeah.
Little
Too bad you
dots of
couldn't just
sleeping.
launch a rocket at them. Batman
Someone
would be cooler
finish
with
him
guns. You think so? It'd be fun. I have an R9 3900X, GTX 2080 Super, 16, soon be 32 gigs of DDR4, 3200 MHz RAM, and 500 gig M2 SSD. Sounds good. Morrowind's pretty difficult to get into if you've played Oblivion. It lacks a lot of quality of life improvements Oblivion implemented. So that's another, I kind of want to go to that same point, Brian. I want to make that point, which is that sometimes it's hard to go back to something that doesn't have that same sort of quality of life stuff. It's kind of hard, if you didn't play it in its time, it's hard to perceive the genius of some games, if that makes sense. What? They didn't save? That's why I hate autosaves. It didn't save and I got the fucking trophy. The Samsung 970 Evo, huh? I still haven't fucked with M2 at all. I have a regular old SSD, which to me is very high tech. Whee. Stamina is a huge pain in the ass early in Morrowind because you lose it while you're moving around. No indicators on the map where you need to go next for your current quest, etc. Yeah. So it's like, it's one of those situations where it's like one step forward, two steps back, right? That's what I was trying to say. I'm trying to say that, you know, it's kind of hard to see the genius of older games sometimes because of what they lack. That's what I mean. Sometimes you'll get a sequel that is in so many ways better than the game that came before it. But in some places where it really counts the most, it's actually worse. I can't speak for Morrowind. I haven't played it myself. Welcome aboard, Faust. I think I hear one of those pods. But there are a lot of franchises like that, and I've heard that, you know, Elder Scrolls is one of them. Kind of like, you know, if you started, let's say you started on Skyrim, right? But even back to Oblivion, there are a lot of things that would probably, you know, not work as well for you, which is a shame. I can't believe I didn't save after I got this last time. It's so annoying. And I can't force a save.
What?
Again, Gamer's Bill of
You found
Rights.
that one too? Preposterous.
I cannot. There's no way to force a save in this game. There's no hard save. There's no. You have to let it autosave, but it doesn't autosave. That's maddening. I feel bad for the sad plebeians who still have to use an SSD, huh? You could just say Morrowind is more immersive, but it's a lot more pain in the ass. I gotta plug in my SSD and HDD so I can format and use them for peripheral shit, huh? Unworthy of my M2. Going from a hard drive to, you know, solid state very recently, I can hardly imagine a faster drive. Whee! Yay! Some Saiyans revenge. We talked about this on the stream before. The Gamer's Bill of Rights. I'm telling you, my number one thing on my my suggestion for that. Every game should have the option to hard save at will. And we talked about how, for some games that would mess them up, right? You have to implement it as like a quick save, like a temporary save. Obviously, for some games, it makes no sense to let you save anytime you want because it would be exploitable in those situations. When you save, it boots you to the main menu. When you load the save, it deletes that save. That way, you have, you can pick up where you left off without being able to exploit things. But it's like, you can't just tell me I can't save. Let me save. Can we do this stupid shit all over again? Ouch.
Don't let him get you!
Oh, whoa, what the? Oh, that's the wrong thing. I doing there's two different tricks. There's one for, there's one for knife guys and one for... Oh, no, why was there a fucking long start up there? I see it there. If that were Arkham Knight, that would have countered that.
Okay.
Oh, bullshit! Yeah, they made some small improvements to the combat in this franchise as they went on. And it kind of pissed me off. Going back to this guy pissed me off. It's much less consistent. Boing. Got him. Why are they all just like firefighters, huh? I guess they stole some security outfits, right? Yeah. They're wearing the Arkham security costumes. What's up, J-Bomb? Gamers deserve to be second-class citizens as dicks, so they don't deserve a Bill of Rights. It's a single-player game, it shouldn't matter. Well, again, we were talking about before about, when I talk about exploitable saves, I mean like people that can save scum. Like, it doesn't really make sense for like a, roguelike to have unlimited saves. Because then you can just save scum when you die, right? That's why I've seen games in the past implement a pretty ingenious mechanism where they had what was called a quick save, which I know that's a term that gets used in a lot of ways, so I want to kind of step back on that. But for me, it was called a quick save back in the day. And a quick save in some games I played was implemented as when you quick saved, it would boot you back to the menu. And then when you loaded your save, it would delete that save. So that way it was like a way to take a break. Like, if, let's say you just want to save the game and take a break, you can do that. At the very least. And every game should have that, I feel like. At the very least. Even games that, again, you don't want to necessarily have, free saves everywhere. I don't know where I'm going. I'm having fun just exploring.
Batman, every route into intensive treatment is locked, and there's nothing I can do to bypass the security.
So I gotta get in there.
There was a sniper up on the roof. He got there somehow.
How about that? Good vibe?
I'll find a way.
No more saving at all. See what that does for game design. Now saving can make you think, damn, I need to do this, huh? And I like that. Oh, not being able to save. In games that have collecting, not being able to manually save is ass. That's true. Now I'm just talking about, in general, like, if it works for your game design, again, I know that it wouldn't for roguelikes particularly, but if it works for your game design, just letting me save at will, it does a lot for my psychology. That's all there is to it. Like, Dix points out, in games, ouch! In games that have collecting, it's really bad when you can't save. But even if it were just like to say, oh, let me just make sure I save before I quit, or let me just make sure the game saved last time, I don't really trust the autosave, it's just nice to be able to save manually. So in 4, here we go. I'd die before I'd finish it, huh? But you would still try. If I could save at any point, I'd feel less pressure, but sometimes I like pressure, huh? Yeah, again, I think we're on different pages here, good vibe. That's exactly why I just discussed the idea of, you know, a quote-unquote quick save that again, it boots you back to the menu. I don't think that it would deplete the pressure. Unless, again, the pressure was that you had shit to do soon, so you had to beat the game fast, right? Which I think is not the right kind of pressure. By not allowing a player to save, even with this notion of a quick save that boots you back to the menu, all you're saying to the player is that you can't take a break. Right? You can't go and do this. You can't go to the bathroom. You can't go to work. You can't go to school. You got to find time to do this one thing, or you know you're not gonna be able to do it. Which to me seems kind of unfair. For some of these arcades, yeah. In Resident Evil, RE2 would suck with too much saving. Yes, again, we discussed that. That'd be a situation where you would save, and it would not actually let you, you know, load that save without deleting that save. What's restless subhuman dregs of society, huh? The arcades. When the revolution happens, guys, the arcades will be our meeting grounds. Can I get above you, sir? I just try and... How can I take him out? Maybe with a batarang? I want to get up there. Hope you're doing well, good vibe. Yeah, lots of games should limit saves. Resident Evil, roguelikes. In those situations, again, you would still be able to save. But when you've loaded that save, it would delete your save. We can go and do things, but you're leaving that system on pause for hours and better hope it doesn't overheat. Yeah. Yes. Or, you know, a power outage or something like that, yeah. Good thing I've got my bat shotgun with me. Custom credits, yeah. I shot with a bat shotgun. Well, what do they want me to do here? I really want to nail that guy, but that's the challenge, right? That's the challenge I'm supposed to deal with. I'm not supposed to be able to take that guy out very easily. Some kind of puzzle. That's where I want to get. There's spores over there. Spores right there. He has spikes along that side, so I can't, like, glide to him. I need to get up higher, but I really can't. But nor can I really hide from this guy that well. Ow! Everything has rest modes now anyways, huh? Dude, don't trust a rest mode, guys. Seriously. Never trust a rest mode. My friend Ein lost all of his saves for all of his games. Because his console, PS4 was in rest mode. A power surge happened at his neighborhood. And the console happened to be updating at the time. And he had to reformat its hard drive, make it work again. Do you think games should all have easy modes? No, I don't. If you're playing a cop game, you may even have an arrest mode. Well, what's over here? This is where the bat cave is, right? I got some new gadgets and gizmos. Oh, hey, this is not where the bat cave is. They're letting me see that one. Interesting. There's no pause button. If you gotta take a shit, you gotta take a quick shit. You need to have turbo turds. Oh yeah, I got shit stains in my pants and a message on my phone saying, sorry, I'm playing Ghostbusters 2 on NES. End of story. Have a fucking pause button. Yeah. PS Plus has an auto backup setting that stores the saves online. Yeah, you have to have PS Plus, though. And yeah, I don't trust those either, guys. I don't trust any cloud backup for saves. Because I don't understand how it synchronizes across consoles. I don't get that. We kind of differ a bit because I prefer more difficulty modes, huh? Uh-oh. Need my triple battery. I remember really being annoyed by that the first time I tried our Souls game. It was so jarring that I couldn't even pause the game, huh? The game was like, fuck you, play more. Yeah, in Souls games, it's a calculated difficulty measure. But even then, I think it should have a pause mode. I think they thought hard about not including pause mode and decided against it for creative reasons. I don't think I agree with those reasons, whatever they could possibly be. I understand that, once you include the net play aspect, of course, right? It's a game that can be played online and off. And even its single player mode has that online aspect to it. Kind of makes sense that you would not be able to pause. Likewise, trying to keep the tension up, I guess. But, I guess their thinking is that if you could pause the game, maybe you could, stop and take a breather and calm yourself and think. They didn't want that. But again, Gamer's Bill of Rights, right? I feel like that's going a little bit too far, maybe. Like, yeah, I understand that you want to be high tension, and that pausing does relieve tension. Don't get me wrong. For sure it does relieve tension. But, I mean, come on. Give a player that much. Celeste with easier difficulties makes no sense to the story, huh? For me, as someone that's really passionate about game design, my only problem with suggesting that every hard game should have an easy mode is that it takes creative control away from the game designers. That's really my only problem with it. I think that accessibility is important, for sure, and that if your game could possibly sustain an easy mode, then you probably should consider it. But to say that every style of game should be able to sustain an easy mode, that's not sensible to me. The story makes a lot less sense if you never get more than 40% in it because you can't beat it, huh? That's true. That'd be crazy cool, J-Bomb. Just pause the game and a boss fight happens. That'd be sick. Alright, well, I guess I'm not doing something right here, which is fine. I'm not really paying attention. That's the thing, right? If I were paying more attention, it'd probably be more clear to me what I'm supposed to do. What's up, Salty Face? Yeah, there's like an argument going around social media that, you know, like, hard games should have an easy mode to make them more accessible to those that paid for them, right? I bought your game, I paid $60 for it. I should be able to experience the entirety of the game even if I can't beat it on the normal difficulty. And my feeling is that I can't co-sign that. If only because, again, it takes power away from it takes creative control away from the game designer. Not every developer has the resources or the inclination to put in an easier mode than the default. The game was balanced for normal mode. Again, I don't mind when games have easy modes. I think it's great. Same with hard modes. Great. The more modes, the better. But to suggest that, you know, every game should have to have one so that everyone can beat your game, I don't think I'm all about that life. Yo, you're playing Owl Guy. I am, dude. Sometimes games are influential and should be, like Dark Souls. Yeah, of course. 100% agree. Oh shit, I'm in fucking... This guy can see me. You're taking the opinion of someone who has gotten good. I feel like you have to try and view it from someone who isn't such used to Neo, Souls, and Gaiden games. I wasn't at one point, though. I wasn't always good at those games. And I also think that if you, let's say you buy, let's say Ninja Gaiden, right? And you understand it's supposed to be difficult. If you're not ready to lose a lot until you get good at it, then you can't blame the developer for that, or the publisher in this case. You can't say, I need my money back, or even if you did say you need your money, then get a refund. But you can't say that every game should have an easy mode because you can't beat it. You have to learn to play it. That's part of the fun. What if Dark Souls had a hard mode? It's just swamps, all swamps. The whole game is one big poison swamp. If the game's message is don't give up, and then it offers an outlet, it kills the narrative, huh? Maybe. I can see where you're coming from, Revenge. The only reason why I'm not ready to co-sign that yet is that, as you guys know, I'm not really huge on narrative in games. Not that I don't like a narrative in my game, but that to say that, you know, it has a negative impact on the narrative, for me, is sort of confusing. So I'm not saying I can't co-sign it. I need to think a lot more about it, though. It's not hard to get good. It's probably, again, it depends on your inclination. I think J-Pump's point is that for some it's harder than others. And I understand that. And I respect that. And it's, you know, it's tough. But, again, to buy a game like, you know, let's not beat around the bush anymore, right? The notorious case is Cuphead, right? That was a notorious case of it having a really bubbly, cartoony art style that people of all ages and skill levels wanted to enjoy. They bought the game, and it was too hard for them. And they said, this game needs an easier mode because I paid for this game. I want to see all the things that are in it. It's not fair that it's only the content I paid for is behind this difficulty wall that, I'm not ready to pass. But again, to me, that's threatening because it threatens the creative control of the game designers. And to me, that is so key. If you buy, guys, here's my final point, right? My final point is that if you buy a game, you are not entitled to enjoy every facet of it, all the graphics, all the music, whatever, the story, if you're not willing to play the game the way it was designed to be played. And I know that's, it's sort of frustrating from a consumer standpoint, but it's still a game, first and foremost. You got to be able to play it to see that stuff. If you're not ready to play it to see that stuff, then, it's a shame that you're not going to be able to see it. But that's just the way it is. Cuphead rules, as here goes. Yeah, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with that. There was a big controversy at the time about Cuphead and people wanting to buy it and not being able to get far in it and being pissed off and wanting, that was a big... I started a conversation in social media about should every game be accessible to every player. And I think that, every game is accessible to every player, excluding, of course, those with physical disabilities. If you put the time into them and learn them. It's an assumption to say that everyone buying Ninja Gaiden or Dark Souls knows that it's supposed to be difficult going in. That being said, I'm not a fan of having these having free modes in games. You're right, Brian. It is an assumption. When I said it, I realized that. But even then, I feel like, for the most part, you can expect that when you buy a game like that, you can expect to be challenged. And if you're frustrated by that, again, sell the game. Go to your GameStop and sell it. But don't say that because you are having trouble with it, that the game needs to be, it needs to have a different mode added in to accommodate you, because you're not willing to get good at it. For a game like Cuphead, it would be easy to implement a casual mode with like infinite lives, something like that, huh? Oh, yeah, it'd be easy. At the same time, sometimes you buy a game and don't like it. Tough luck. Yeah. And like Brian said about free modes in games, I mean, I guess that's sort of the conversation, right? Should every game that comes out have a free mode just so that players that want to walk through it can walk through it and just see everything? And then those that don't want to can turn that mode off, obviously. You don't got to engage it. But my stance is still that it sort of takes away some of the creative liberty of the game designer, right? Like, in many cases, I'm not even saying in a few cases, in many cases, right? Those things later in the game are a reward. They're intended as a reward for the players that actually learn the game and get that far. Right? That's sort of the point of the final stages. To say to a developer, you must make this part accessible to everyone, I mean, that's kind of defeats the purpose in some cases. Maybe even many cases. Again, to those developers that want to include an easy mode, that's great. Again, if it makes sense for your game, it makes sense for your customers to do that, definitely consider it. But to say that, as a sort of rule, that all games should have that so that consumers can be assured that they can see everything in their game that they paid for, to me, that's not a good look. It's called YouTube's as Faust. There's that, dude. We could start a whole conversation about that, too. We can talk about YouTube and how these publishers are, shutting down videos of their games to make players pay for the games so they can, get that experience. I don't see how it takes away any creative things away. Like I just said, the developers might want you to have to actually beat their game to see that stuff. That's why they put it in the game. They took a lot of pride in their game design, and as a reward for those that endure it, they have this content for you. I think that's very fair. You can't say to that designer, well, everything in the game has to be acceptable to everybody. You have to make it easier for certain people so they can see all this stuff. No. They wanted you to have to beat their game to see that stuff. Oh, thank you, Brian. Looks like you may need to redo the Vencabot spam post bruise day. Yes, I need to get rid of that spam. I'm going to do that right now before I forget. I don't want to forget, as I just did. Let's go fix the bot. Let's go fix the bot. Scripts. Twitch demos. The chatbot. Bot Vencabot. Edit. Okay. So we got this spam here for promoting Mexi, Patreon, YouTube, tournament, and Jazzy Fight Night. I want to keep the Jazzy Fight Night spam for now, but delete this one, or at least comment it out. There we go. Let's restart the bot. I should fix it. Let's see here. That would be done right here. Okay, the bot's offline here, guys. I apologize. What the fuck? Where's my doubts? But the bot is now back up again. Let me refresh the page here. Not sure I even need to do this, but let's do it anyway. There we go. Yay, easy back. But they can make a regular mode, then add in sliders to make it harder or easier for people to want it. I don't think it takes away a thing myself. Again, it takes away the developer's freedom, right? Do you disagree that it's a developer's right to say, I drew this artwork, I wrote this music, I want you to have to beat this stage to be able to hear it? That's what you're taking away by having a mode that lets you walk through that stage. They want you to have to learn their game and beat it. That's what they want. If I designed a game that was meant to be a challenge, that's what I would do. I wouldn't include a mode that lets you just walk through it. I want it to be, the whole point of it is the challenge. I want you to, overcome this challenge. And I want for you, ideally you would want to do that, right? If you bought the game, I would hope you would want to overcome this challenge. But if you bought the game and didn't want to overcome the challenge, that sucks. That sucks. That really sucks. It sucks for me and it sucks for you. It means that my creative vision didn't resonate with you. It means you bought the wrong game. Boo-ba-da-boo. Sure, they can not add it in, and I just would add it in. I wouldn't expect everyone to just knock difficulty down. Yeah, but again, it's the designer's decision in this case to include rewards for players that are exclusive to those that actually got good at the game. They designed a game that they're proud of, with a challenge that they find interesting personally. And they want to reward some players for, overcoming that challenge. And the argument that there should be sliders to adjust all levels of difficulty for a game is saying that there should not be a reward that's unique to players that have, mastered the game. A game should be fun for us Soulsy type of players. Challenge is fun, but that might not be true for everybody. Gatekeeping is a shit mentality, Venka. I totally disagree. Right, you're not entitled to fun. You chose to buy this game. Oh, hey, did I get this one before?
The island changed little over the years. Its reputation was in tatters, but I vowed to fix it. As the buildings were rebuilt, I saw the future. A bright, wonderful future.
You can't make a movie that appeals to everybody, and you shouldn't try to make a movie that applies to everybody. That defeats the creative vision of filmmaking. You can't write a book that appeals to everybody. And again, you shouldn't try to. You can't say, this guy bought my book, he didn't like it, so I should have written it differently so he would like it. No. Again, on a certain, from a certain perspective, through a certain lens, you can say, you would ideally want, if you made a creative project, right? You would want for everyone to enjoy it, right? Not only is that better for your sales of your hypothetical book or your film, But you want to be inclusive. That's great. Being inclusive is very important. But it's not so important that you should compromise your creative vision. And there's going to always be different kinds of content that are more suitable for a certain audience than others. And that's important. If not for that, then everything would be the same. If it was similar, it could be like a Russian company made a film that they won't translate it into English or something. Yeah. If the creator of a Russian film believes that their film is best enjoyed in Russian, and they refuse to translate it into English because it would compromise their vision, then that should be their right. I think a lot of people who want games to be more consumer-friendly for all skill levels never grew up in NES days where difficulty was like an artificial way to increase game length. Like, you could beat a game in half an hour if you knew what was up, but you'd spend hours upon hours trying to the early stages over and over again, so the game didn't feel like you spent your $50 on something that was beaten in less than an hour. That's, that's one reason for difficulty. It's a dick move, says Cool, and not into that movie. I don't know. What's up, Connor? I think it's an artist's right to exercise that sort of control over the things they create. There's no reason not to. You have the message you want to send, then send it. That's their message, though. Their message, hypothetically, in this example, is something beautiful about the Russian language, right? The Russian language is itself somehow a part of the art. To translate it to another language would defeat the purpose, and at least in the perspective of the creator. It's still accessible by the target audience, Russian speakers. And the motivation for a lot of companies to release less challenging games is that financial aspect of wanting more people to be able to beat it, thereby hopefully getting a wider audience to buy it. Yeah, that's true. And I get something important. These people that are demanding easier modes in games, it's also their right to not buy games from publishers that have notoriously fucked them over for putting games out that are too hard for them. That's a consideration that also has to be stated. Likewise, if you say that your movie cannot be translated from Russian, it'll never be in English, you're excluding a lot of potential, customers. But for a creator to say, if you want to enjoy my movie, then learn Russian, that sucks if you don't speak Russian and you want to watch the movie. And again, it's your right as a consumer to be frustrated by that and to not, patronize that creator or their publisher in the future. But to say that, as a rule, all films should be accessible to all people, I don't know about that. It's a slippery slope, to the very least. Oh, can I slide over there where he is now? Maybe. It's not a long way, though. Does my zipline go that far? Yeah, I didn't think that you were trying to be offensive to me, J-Bomb. I know what you're saying. I think you made a point. I can see how you could perceive, a difficulty floor, let's say a high difficulty floor, as gatekeeping, right? But I think that it's a developer's right to gatekeep certain aspects of their content. Again, especially in a game. We're talking about movies and books as an example. But in a game where, it's a challenge, right? If they hide content behind a challenge, then that seems very fair to me. Would anything that tried to appeal to everyone even be worth it? Yeah, hypothetically, Steve. I'm playing devil's advocate, Steve. Since we're talking and debating here, yes, hypothetically speaking, that is possible. It happens all the time. You can have a game that appeals to everyone, or let's say it tries to. It has this very broad appeal. It has features that would appeal to this kind of player and to that kind of player. And if you don't like them, you can ignore those features. It could still be good for, in a bunch of different ways for a lot of different people. But I feel like not every game should have to be that way. And what's more, Oh, shit. Wow. Not every game should have to try to be that way. It's not possible to appeal to everyone, because some people have opposing tastes. You can definitely go for huge swaths and be generally enjoyable. Yeah, I agree. That's kind of what I said, Coolian. I think he's talking to Steve, like what I was saying. A game can appeal... Let's say a game or a book or a movie can be engineered to appeal to everyone, and it can still be good. But not everything would be. Right? There are some kinds of art that really are designed to, you know, to suit a niche. Kind of just living, huh? Can't complain, really. I'm fully done with Dragon Ball FighterZ online. That game makes me want to eat my, eat your fucking hand, huh? Well, don't do that, dude. I see zero reason to not make it more accessible. What do you guys... I don't know. I don't know. Again, it's a slippery slope. Logically, the way you follow through with that thought is that there should be no content in a game. Let's say you buy a game, right? On a hypothetical disc, right? There should be no content on that disc that is not accessible to you because you paid for that disc, right? So you should have access to all the content on it. Which means that you can't withhold any content based on overcoming a particular challenge in your game. Again, not only does that take away a lot of creative freedom for the designers, but how about the players that, you know, that earned that content? Do they not deserve some sort of reward that's unique to them for overcoming an exceptional challenge? You could argue maybe that they don't, right? Maybe, you know, you don't deserve any kind of reward for overcoming an exceptional challenge. But again, I feel like that would be a pretty hot take. And that's the logical continuation of this thought. If you say to yourself, okay, well, there's 10 difficulty modes, right? But the only way to actually get, you know, the lightsaber weapon is to beat the game on hard mode. Right? That way, if you buy the game and you play it on easy mode, you get pretty much the whole experience, but you don't get this sword. Well, you're going to say, well, dude, I bought the game. I want that sword. I got to beat the game to get that sword. It doesn't make any sense to me. Why? So, again, the argument is that you cannot have in your game any reward.
I'm seeing seismic activity all over Arkham Island.
That's exclusive to those players that completed an exceptional challenge.
I've got to stop them before the entire island is under her control.
No, not at all, J-Bomb. No, we were talking about something totally... It kind of was an evolving conversation. I don't think we're actually talking about any game in particular. I forget what it was that we talked about that started this, but it wasn't any game in particular, I don't think. We're just talking in general about difficulty modes in games. Yeah, good vibe. See, that's sort of what I find frustrating about your argument. You think of rewards as completion itself. And so because of that, again, hypothetically speaking, all game designers should think of their rewards the same way. You cannot, again, it's a matter of creative freedom. Not every designer should have to think of the reward as being only the completion, in my mind. I think that if you want to include rewards for certain players overcoming your challenge in your game, that's very reasonable. That's highly sensible. If I designed a game and I was very proud of the puzzle I created, I would want to include a reward for players that would overcome that reward, overcome that challenge. Not only is it a reward for them, but it's a reward for me. To say, hey, I made this really fun challenge by my estimation. Let me include this thing for those that can pass it. And to say that I can't do that because people would feel excluded, that's madness to me. And if you don't like it, don't buy my next game. In fact, there could be a halfway. I want games accessible. I don't care if they get a bandana or for beating it on insane. Yeah, but again, somebody will. Because that's my point. We're talking about this argument that came about as a result of this fiasco surrounding Cuphead. Players were frustrated that they were paying good money for these games that they couldn't beat. And that conversation extended to talk about Dark Souls, right? That brought Dark Souls into the conversation. This is what, a few years ago now? This is when Cuphead first released. Dark Souls was talked about, Cuphead was talked about, games that are notoriously difficult were talked about. You go out and you buy these games, and you can't get past the first boss, then what? You just waste $60. Why can't it have an easy mode? Shouldn't all games have a mode that everyone can play it, right? Make it more accessible to everybody. Don't gatekeep the content. Make it more inclusive to players. But my argument is that when you do that, if you say every game needs to have these modes to make them more inclusive, you're taking away that designer's right, as a game designer, to say, for you to see this stuff, you must get past this challenge. I designed this challenge to be fair. And if you can't overcome this challenge, then you do not deserve to see this content. That's sort of the challenge. The reward for the challenge is this other content in the game. And if you don't want to take the time to learn this challenge and beat it, again, that's a shame. That's a shame because, yeah, you did pay for it, and that sucks. And the game's not for you. Not every game is for you. Even if you buy the game, it doesn't mean it's going to be for you. I have bought many games that I have not liked, and it's a shame. Some games are actually good games, like Bloodborne, a mighty fine game. Not for me. But I don't think that every game should have to take measures to make it more of a game for me. I might criticize those games. But yeah, again, that's just, you can't just say that every game should have these features because that's what you need them to have. I don't see why they wouldn't, huh? They have the choice, of course. Yeah, again, the same people that say that games, should have these modes would argue, and my point was that you cannot have rewards. You can't have rewards for exceptional challenges if the conversation is that everything should be more accessible, right? The reward to get for beating level 1 is to get to level 2 of your game. How is that different from saying that if you beat the game, with no lives lost, you get to have a bonus stage, right?
Are they ready?
Players would say, why can't I already use that bonus stage? Why is that bonus stage gate-kept behind this challenge that I can't complete? I work full-time.
Let's test them out.
I have a family, all right? I don't have time to learn this stupid game. I'm not going to learn how to play Dark Souls. I'm fucking busy. Right? Show some respect to my fucking schedule in my life. I'm not 18 years old anymore. I'm not in high school. I can't just spend all my time getting good at your fucking game. Cut me some fucking slack. That's the argument.
You sure about that?
I want to play your bonus stage. How come I have to beat your whole game without losing a life at your bonus stage? Give me a slider where I can make the challenge more, my speed, so that I can get to this bonus stage. My point is that, you can't, if you're going to say to yourself, oh, there's bombs on these now, right? Yeah. Oh my god. My point is that if you say that all games should be accessible, you can't have rewards for overcoming a challenge. Go back and play in the vent fan more. Watch the fog flying around with fun. That's what I was thinking, Dix. I wanted to, trust me. If I wasn't already concerned that we're wasting too much time today talking instead of playing this game, I would have sat there and go, ooh, fog. Maybe I think, maybe you think, I think they have to. I just think there's no idea to exclude them. That's my point. I'm trying to make the point, good vibe, that there is a reason to exclude them. That's what I'm trying to argue here.
Wait up. I'll watch your back.
There's a very good reason to exclude them. What was that game on poverty a while back? Food Cart Life, something like that. It's a perfect example of why you wouldn't make the game easy. It's so good, J-Bomb. This game is really fun, and it looks great graphically. But it's also, not only does it look good, but it's really, really fun. It's even more fun when you're focusing on it. I think most people who are frustrated by difficulty in games preventing them from playing through it don't give a rat's ass about an unlockable item or special ending screen for beating it on the hardest difficulty without dying. Yeah, again, I'm talking about a logical follow-through, right? Like, how about this, Brian? Again, talk about splitting hairs. What if the game has a true ending that can only be seen by beating it on normal mode, which is pretty popular. You know, it's pretty popular. You know, game design trope. Let's say that's like a post-credit scene, right? You think people wouldn't be pissed off by that the same way they're pissed off about not being able to get to the, you know, 5th stage? Have easy, normal. You get a special belt for playing on hard. You can have both.
Those plants mutate and give off poisonous spores that with prolonged exposure shuts down the nervous system.
Yeah, but again, as a game designer, let's say that I had created Dark Souls, right? Let's say it was my idea. Maybe it was. You guys don't know it wasn't.
No way the bat's coming here. No way.
As a game designer, as an artist, as a creative, it could very well be demeaning to me. As a creator, it could be demeaning to me to take this game that I balanced and to say, now make it easier. Right? Just take some of the challenge away. The game, the way it's engineered, by my estimation, is the way that it should be engineered.
He's dangerous. He'll ruin
I worked very hard on engineering it that way. It's my baby in that respect. You can't just take aspects away from it. It diminishes the product. But to some person, it might make it better. But again, that person is not the person that's my demographic I'm selling to. You can't say that my product should appeal equally to all demographics. I'm making it for one demographic in this case. And I feel like that's my right as a creator to do. I don't need to include everybody. I think that the game is at its best on normal mode. And that I only want people to play the game at its best. And if you have difficulty with normal mode, then that's fine. Keep playing it and get better at it and overcome that challenge. That's part of the experience I intended for you as a developer, as a designer in this case. That's a part of the intended experience, is you having to overcome that challenge. For you to say to me, okay, but take that away from your game, it's like, dude, it's my game. No. Right? The way that I want you to play it is like this. And if you don't like that, then don't buy it. If you did buy it, that sucks. Get a refund. Sell it on eBay. But, again, the way I designed the game was to be enjoyed like this. I don't gotta make it so that you can enjoy it. Just because you bought it.
What the?
Oh, no. Oh, no, climb over this! Oh, Jesus.
God, found someone over here.
Please don't come past me. Please don't come past me. Oh, thank God. This is fucking hard on hard mode, dude.
What happened? Just wake up, come on.
Oh, yeah, for sure, good vibe, for sure. That's how I see it, too. That's normal mode. I don't disagree with that. My point is that I shouldn't have to include an easy mode. That is normal mode, for sure. That's one that I designed to be the default difficulty.
Show yourself. Wait up, I'll watch your back.
But that might be the only difficulty that makes sense for my game. Right? For my game, as a designer, that could be the only mode that makes sense. To make it any easier would take away what makes my game special.
Wait up, I'll watch your back.
Oh, no. Oh, this is just class. Okay. Fuck. I was a low gear tank, and I got a piece of gear from the highest tier, from the lowest tier. It was fun, but man, did everyone get frustrated that RNGesus blessed this pug tank. There's something in the chat here. And while there's a feature called Titan Foraging, where randomly you get a gear at a tier or higher than what should drop at that level. Titan Foraging. Pug being a random player who signed up to fill a void in your group's roster.
He's taken out 2 of you. Find him.
Yeah, I guess I could just end my argument by saying this. To me, games are art. And whenever you patronize a piece of art, then you are taking with that a certain responsibility as a patron, that you are buying that art as it is, and that it may or may not totally appeal to you. It wasn't designed for you. It's a piece of art that was designed and you're paying to enjoy it, as it is. And as an artist, you have to be able to make your art any way that you want. and it will have limited appeal or broad appeal, depending on the subject at hand. In the case of a game, which is a unique piece of art, it's a unique medium for art, we're talking about challenge. Some games are going to be harder than other games. That's just the fact of the matter. I stated earlier that if you want to be inclusive in your game, if that's a design goal for you personally, then of course it makes sense to include an easy mode, especially if your game can tolerate it. And some games tolerate it better than others. If you have the time and the resources to do that, that makes sense. But not every developer has the time or the resources or the inclination to make additional difficulties for their game. And to me, that's perfectly fine.
The walkway. While you're there, keep going.
You heard the boy.
I think a lot of games are better for that, for having a focus in their vision, right? If a game has, 10 difficulty modes, and a lot of them are just phoned in, they didn't have the time to polish them the same way, that sucks. How do I know which? Let's say I pick a very hard mode in a game, right? And that mode is not as polished as normal mode. They didn't really have time to do that. I would much rather it had fewer difficulty modes, right? Like, why have these other ones that are not as well engineered as the main difficulty? Because there's a demand for it, because players demand more difficulty modes? No. Make the modes that suit your game that you're making. And do those modes well. Not every game is going to make sense to the developers with an easier mode. And if you think that could have made sense to you with an easier mode, then go ahead and make your own game. It sounds as though maybe you have a more design genius than this person whose game you bought. Not to continue debate, just so we know each other. You see, it's a needless restriction. That's funny, I would word it the same way, right? For me, it's a needless restriction on the creators. To ask them to add this mode that they don't see as being a part of their holistic vision. Right? They have a vision for their game, and this difficulty mode is not a part of it. To ask them to include that seems silly to me. Your argument is that it's a restriction for the consumers, which to me is bizarre, because they're the ones that bought it to play it. They bought it to play it, but now they have it, and they want it to be something else. Like, a mount is rare, says Steve, and sure, people wish they got that, but they're mostly happy somebody got the rare thing. Titan Forge gear just felt like someone was rewarded for no reason.
Where the hell are you?
Coolant says, you can't be pissed that you didn't get the card you wanted in your pack. Yeah, I think we're talking about the rareness here, or randomness in Steve's, in WoW. I don't think there's any need to have easy modes in games, but I also think that assuming people who complain about Cuphead difficulty don't give a shit about a bonus cutscene at the ending. I also think that assuming people who complain about Cuphead's difficulty don't give a shit about a bonus cutscene at the ending. I think that you weren't reading the same tweets I was reading, because that was exactly the argument. Was that there should not be content in this game that you have to fight for. The argument was that it's a beautiful game with beautiful graphics, beautiful music, and that if you paid for it, you should be able to get those graphics and that music and that story and all that stuff. Right? I mean, in the case of, let's say, an RPG, right? The idea is that if I want to play the game just for the story, I should be able to. That was the argument, right? You see that a lot in literally like in RPGs lately, right? On Steam and stuff. You have a game that has a story. If I bought your game, I should be able to just do it for the story. And by that logic, again, you cannot give a bonus cutscene at the end for hard mode. That's a part of the game you're withholding from these guys that paid full price for this game.
Intensive treatment belongs to us.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Okie. This is a pretty trivial stage in that, although they've booby-trapped all of these, gargoyles, but they have this big thing in the middle that I can stand on. It's actually much better. It's like a super gargoyle. Dix doesn't play WoW, so I don't really have the context for it, huh? Billy killed the boss and got this rare drop, but I got trash. Billy forged shit and got this boosted item, but I got trash. Yeah, I don't see the difference, but again, like Dix says, I haven't played the game, so I really don't know. For Stave, the difference between a Titan forged piece of gear and a mount is aesthetically pleasing, but with very few exceptions, no mount gives you a bonus any other mount gives. Yeah, but you're talking about mounts exclusively, right, Steve? I maybe a misunderstanding. I've been ranting about some other topic altogether. But is the argument that Titan forging is different from getting random drops from a boss? Because don't bosses drop gear too? That's pretty good. Let's see here. I'm going to make a game. It's Neo 3, but you have to win 5 straight Minesweeper games first. Yeah. I would listen to the demands, although it'd be cool for them to criticize. That game on expert difficulty has true unblockable 50-50s. Fucking shout out to mine. That game is so much fun, though. But yeah, it's a shame that there are situations in it that are truly profoundly luck-based.
That with prolonged exposure shuts down the nervous system.
Look at this fucking dude. They're so nervous right now. They're kind of looking back and forth as they walk, which means I won't get to freely take them out the way I would like to. For Titan forging affects the loot that drops from the boss. Fowler says it's basically a random chance on top of a random chance. You get the drop, and then it has a chance to just be better for no real reason. I'm still confused by it. Then it could just be because I've not exposed this genre that much. That sounds totally natural to me. It's a random chance on a random chance. That just means more random chance. How is one random chance better than the other random chance?
Leave him here. Spread out and find that bat.
I'd probably just dive kick this guy. He doesn't have any backup. Missed the prompt there. There's an item which you can find. Someone else can find an identical item, which has better stats. Yeah, but I could have found it too, right? If I had the same amount of luck, couldn't I have been the one that found it? Items have an item level in WoW. Every raid tier has a set item level for loot. Okay. I'm with you so far. I'm explaining how it works. I don't care. Oh, yeah, how about one way? Okay.
Man down, man down.
Hitman Blood Money, that was weird, the 3 saves, but if you turn off the console, you lose them. That was weird. I don't understand that. He freaked out because he heard a fucking piston. Yeah, the fucking boiler. I can dive on him, yeah. Yeah, I don't get the whole Hitman Blood Money thing with the... You have 3 saves, but if you turn the console off, you lose them. That seems to me like the... I think at the time, it's the opposite of what, my ideal is for, saves. Is this fog just moving around the stage? Does it ever fade away? Looks like it does fade away, down there. Where is it coming from, canonically? Is there a pipe here or something? I guess from this corner, huh? So if I were to go into a normal raid that drops item level 100, yes. Some random does the normal raid and gets a piece of the Titan Forged to the level 130. Mythic tier. Okay. The current Batman goal? I don't even know, dude. I can upgrade myself. Let's do that. With you so far, Steve. With you so far. I still don't see the problem. Okay. We're gonna have upgrades that aren't just more health. Look at this. Random item drops seems like a totally different issue to me. I think that's probably just the part that I'm missing because I haven't been reading the chat that much. If I were to go to normal raid that drops item level 100, Some random does the normal raid and gets a piece of Titan Fortress to level 130. Yeah. It's the same piece, but better stats. And that's the big problem. They didn't do the hard difficulty and still got the same reward. But wouldn't the harder difficulty now have a... I guess my argument is that it's not the same reward, right? Because if I went to the harder mode, let's say that you said normal tier gets level 100, right? Hypothetically speaking. Let's say that hard mode of the same raid gets you 130, right? So if I do a normal tier raid and I get a Titan Forge piece of gear that's at 130, at a small random chance, isn't that the same if I went to the hard raid tier and got a Titan Forge and it was level 160? Like, it's just a small random chance to reward a certain player at random. That's exactly the same thing to me as getting any kind of rare piece of gear. It could be better, it could be worse. It seems like every other aspect, yeah, I'm not really huge on random item drops in general. I guess that's where my confusion lies, like with Dix. Like, yeah, it's annoying, but aren't all random item drops annoying? Yeah, it's random. That's the point. It's random. Again, if I went to the harder mode, I could have got level 160 piece of gear. So I'm still limited by playing on normal. I mean, if I'm playing on normal, the highest I can get is 130 if I'm really, really lucky. Whereas on hard, the highest I can get is 160 if I'm really, really lucky, right? Mythic tier loot is the item level cap. You can't get better. So if I were to go to a normal raid, it drops level 100. Some random does the normal raid and gets a piece that Titan Forged to level 130. Mythic tier. Yeah, I think I'm not going to be able to get on board with this argument. Again, it could just be because I'm not big on randomness in general when it comes to loot drops and stuff. It's part of why I don't play MMOs in the first place. To me, it seems to be the same exact situation. This person that got this Titan Forge piece of gear is really lucky. It sounds as though he's exceptionally lucky. Now he has, because of this luck, he no longer has to do the hard mode to get the same piece of gear. Good for him. If you're hating on this guy, or you're jealous of him, that sucks. Sounds like a you problem. He got a good roll. Saves him some, that's what all good rolls do. They save a bunch of time, right? They save you time and effort. How is that different? But then again, maybe I'm not accustomed to the subtlety of it, as someone that doesn't play the genre. All I can say is that to me it doesn't make any sense. The two big problems about it, for me, is a disconnect between reward systems and perceived difficulty, as well as adding an element of gambling that isn't needed at all. Where am I going now? What did I beat these guys for? That door's locked over there. Oh, I'll probably find something in here. Let's go look around with my bat vision. Aha. Yeah, he was guarding this. We gotta hack it. I love this minigame. If you guys don't know how this works, basically I'm rotating the stick here. Can I see the control stick? If I rotate the stick, it increases or lowers the amplitude of that wave. See how it gets bigger? Also vibrates when it's at its max size. Right. I think I have a time limit there. And I have to rotate both sticks to get the maximum amplitude. So you kind of got to feel your way around. It's very tactile. You feel your way around to find the biggest amplitude, and then it pops it. So there's a pretty big amplitude wave there. Right there. It's a sweet spot. It's kind of like, you know, like lockpicking in another kind of game. Okay. Uh-oh. No. Got it! Ooh, that was close. The little mini thing there was so satisfying. I love that. Yeah, it's pretty fun. It's a fun little mechanic. to get on the topic of game design again, that calls into question my historical argument about pulling mechanics in closer. I've always said that you don't want to have periphery mechanics in your game, ideally. You want them to all tie into each other. I feel like a lot of games suffer from feeling like a mini-game compilation. Right? They feel like a mini-game compilation rather than like a cohesive whole. So where does that fall in? Is it okay to have a mini-game because the actual main game itself is so satisfying? Furthermore, how about this game's, you know, I'm very critical of other games that do that have these mini-games that aren't tied into like a central body. How about this game's stealth mechanics versus the fighting mechanics? Those are totally discrete, right? What's up with that? Is that not a bad thing? Is it okay because both mechanics are very fun in their own right? You know, they're both pretty well developed on their own. Would it not benefit from, you know, finding a way to tie them together? Maybe you couldn't tie them together. Okay, so let's see here. So, I destroyed that. Is there more of them around here? Oh, I should find out what it's plugged into. It goes straight down. Aha! Now we're talking. Now we're getting somewhere. Hook up with the relatives before you've transferred out of here. Okay. Aaron Cash, he's got a hook on his hand. I can blow that up. Why wouldn't I? It's a hoot and a half. Okay. That's pretty big. Sweet spot it. I think the character of Batman probably contributes to the stealth fighting gameplay. I think you're right, Faust. I'm just theorizing. If I had to make an argument for the game, you guys know I'd love to make an argument for the game. That's what it would be. That both contribute to Batman's character. It makes sense to have both sneaking and fighting. I'm glad this game has both. I still need to think a lot about it. Again, it seems sort of contrary to my usual opinion. I don't think it would make it quite as interesting if you had the gameplay, but with Superman. I think you're right too about that. That calls into the the subject of narrative. Here's the relatives. Now, of course, you would want a game like this to have a stealthy protagonist. That's for sure. Whether it be Solid Snake or Batman or some other person that's would be sneaky. Materia Magica. One problem I had with this, let me kind of be more forthcoming here. When I talk about games that I wish had more central mechanics and not so many peripheral mechanics, I'm talking about Assassin's Creed. Like, I feel like, or I guess maybe I should rephrase my argument then. Maybe that's why this game, it works for me personally, and Assassin's Creed didn't. I felt like Assassin's Creed's mechanics were all very shallow, and that there was a lot of different gameplay modes. I wish they had taken all those mechanics that were very flat and shallow and made one that was much more deep. Whereas I think for Batman it works for me because I like the sneaking, it's very deep for what it is, and I like the combat, it's very deep for what it is, right? I don't have that same sort of, it's not that games shouldn't have mini games in them. It's that they need to have some mechanics that are sufficiently deep, that act as the fundamental gameplay experience, right? This game has a fundamental gameplay experience that is both sneaking and stealth, and both parts are very fun and rich on their own. And again, the issue is not that it has minigames in it, like that hacking minigame. The issue is that other games don't have that depth to them. They over-rely on minigames when they should be making the core game deeper and more fun. Assassin's Creed has that Zorro in the Haze stealth mechanic, though. Shout out to Assassin's Creed stealth, dude. That game made me so sad. I want to play it on stream one day and just hate on it. AC's problem was more that it did everything pretty poorly. Exactly, Dix. That's what I'm saying. It wasn't that minigames are a bad thing, but it's that you need to, what you do have in your game, you gotta have some fucking depth, dude. You gotta have some depth. You can't just keep adding new, you can't replace a game's depth by adding new mini games. This game doesn't really do that, I feel like. Uh-oh. Little coffee cough. Fuck! God damn it! My game crashed. Oh no. This is so much fun back in the day, before we had all these spoilers. Exactly, Faust, yeah. Madhouse. This Batman may be escaping patient there. Unity focused more on stealth. The latter two went hard on combat, like you mentioned. President, when the first AC came out, it was fine.
You were right, Mr. J. Classic martyr case with delusions of grandeur. Cuckoo.
I'm inclined to disagree.
Head of security and Joker aside. If you have any questions, please visit us.
This is the game's intro, but reverse.
I think I'm going to
Keep moving. Please, you can let us go. We won't try and escape.
Cut me free!
Keep those mouths shut.
Batman! Batman, can you hear me? They're taking us
He don't
outside.
look so big and scary now, does he, Mr. J?
I don't know, dude. I'm so scared of him.
Save us, please!
Just got to check your prisoner, dear.
Oh, it's the fucking Scarecrow.
Just be quick. He's not looking too good.
No, he's not. We really should feel sorry for him. He never fully got over his parents' death. It left him quite insane.
Is he wrong, though?
What is going on inside your head, Wayne? He's gone. Just a twisted shell of a man.
That'd be sick, Faust.
Cut me free!
Should be a mod like that.
He's all yours, Joker.
Oh, goody. Come on, Mr. J. We're ready.
I've waited a long time for this, Bats. Let's start the party with a bang.
Use the middle stick to dodge Joker's gunfire, huh? Fuck. There is no middle stick. Yeah, I played Assassin's Creed 1 when it first came out, and it got 10 out of 10 scores everywhere, and I was hugely disappointed by it. I wanted much better stealth. I wanted much better combat. I wanted much better a lot of things from that game. Black Flag is the one I go to when I get the itch to become the deadliest haystack in the world, huh? Says Steve. Doesn't mean your penis, use the middle stick, huh? Try again. Rest in peace, Bruce Wayne. Yo, fuck that, dude. I don't give up. What's up, D-Scott? Zombie Bat. Maybe a cool unlockable costume. This game has a lot of costumes, as I recall. Look at that fucking crazy Batman over there. He's eating bugs. I remember this part. There's a lot of different Batmans to look at. How's the night been, D. Scott? Hopefully pretty good. They don't have capes. They've been decaped. He's a bat. He should eat bugs. Dude, I don't know. I'm a gamer. Should I eat Doritos and drink fucking Mountain Dew? Maybe I should. Maybe not all bats gotta be stereotypical bats. What's up, little buddy? He's eating a rat. Cut it out! Don't be eating rats. That's not a good look. Oh, it's a platinum challenge, I see. Well, what's the challenge? Oh, I got a hook shot across. Do I have one of those? I do. Would I rather eat rats than what? Bugs or Doritos? Drink G Fuel, or better yet, snort it, huh? Snort that G Fuel powder. So Faust used the Batman Beyond suit Yeah, I think I used a cartoon one of the most. Oh shit.
What are you doing?
Uh-oh.
When I first heard the joke, I didn't take over it, but many of them, I thought he was crazy. When he outlined his vision of a hospital dedicated to ensuring inmates remain open for as long as possible, I thought he was whack. He helped me down and bring a kind of new smile onto my face. I decided he had a point. Situated in a small island in Gotham Bay, we stopped at nothing to ensure no screwballs fly the coop.
It's pretty fucking frustrating that
a classic case of
Scarface was never a villain in the franchise.
Have cemented our reputation
Oh, Faust.
as a
Got the dark dudes. He's gonna pick something to do / play based on the number you picked, Dante. Like something in the chat here?
Our new patients ward is manned by Waylon Jones. I'm assured that he's cured almost every patient sent to him and boasts empty beds in all his wards.
J-Bomb just wanted somebody to pick a number for him. I'll pick a number. It's really loud. What's my range? 1 to 100? I'm somebody. I get frame rate drops here. Maybe I shouldn't stream this at 4K. Go! Fuck. 1 through 6. You know me, dude. 6 all the way. Can I climb this? I've run a pretty long way here. Oh, I gotcha. I know 6 of it, as I'm saying, dude. Always go 6. Six 3 times. I already picked 6 twice. I picked 6 last time we had this mini game too, the J-Bomb mini game. Frame rate drop. Doom Eternal, though. Good luck.
Are you scared to come out and face your fears, Batman?
A little bit, not gonna lie. You're kind of gigantic. The frame rate's not that great. I feel kind of self-conscious about that. Okay, there's a spotlight. I think this one you have to do more than one. Holy shit!
I think you need a little more.
Almost got him in real life.
Tell me, what demons do you have left to beat?
Jeez. Snap out of it, Batman!
Are you enjoying the extra dose, little bat?
Boss fight? I remember this part.
Oh, I won't rush things this time. I'm going to savor every moment of your terror as I slowly destroy you.
I want to throw a skeleton. Amazing. Skeletons! Yay! Did I have one of these lights on? What you looking at, asshole? Oh, okay.
You're fighting back. Good.
Big boy.
It can only weaken your resolve.
What's up, dude? Gonna try and charge me? Is that what's gangster? Oh, okay. Get fucked, bro. Ooh. The Titan skeletons, dude. He's tightened up.
How much more do you think you can take? Does it scare you to know that I've almost defeated you.
Oh no. Whee! Throwing skeletons, bruh! Yeet! Hold that shit. Ow! Skeleton warriors. Now do it to him, Batman. He's a prick.
How are you doing this?
The skeleton warriors.
You've ingested enough toxins to drive dead men insane.
Dude, I'm already insane, bro. I'm Batman.
You?
A little sack of drugs there.
Fight it, Batman. You're as crazy as the rest of us.
I've been fighting people. Look at all the Titans here I fought.
Just as much as we need you. And
Did I get scared by my own fucking EXP bats? That's what it looked like, right? Is that a nice little detail?
To break the minds of everyone in Gotham for 100 years.
I was really salty, guys. In fact, I'm still salty. I'm not mentioning it. That they recharacterized Scarecrow for Arkham Knight. That whole game was just such a letdown. And I love that game. I played the fuck out of it. But it was still a letdown. Where am I? Somewhere different. I felt like the game wasn't really respectful to the other games in the franchise. The fact that they recharacterized Scarecrow is just one example of how they weren't showing respect to the franchise. Yeah, J-Bomb, yeah, good vibe. I'm sure the Joker's already been on drugs. So where did I come from? I'm supposed to go this way. So it had me facing the wrong way? It had me facing this way before. Is that where I came from, then? I can get way up there. Oh, there's gargoyles. Okay. Oh. Shout out to fucking William from Neo. Oh. Joker's on keto plus water only, huh? That boy is definitely freaking out. Okay, yeah, I'm somewhere where I guess I wandered while I was fighting Scarecrow. I've been wandering around. So I'm on the opposite side of the room now, right? Yeah, I'm over here. Oh no, that's where I'm supposed to go. I haven't actually moved. What? Maybe my map's not working because I'm on the drug. So this is familiar. I was in this area before in the game. Oh shit. Bro, is it that funny, dude? I know it's pretty funny. If I were drugging people and making them go nuts, I'd be laughing too, but not like that. Have some restraint. But rubbing his sack like he's stuck in quarantine, dude. Wow. But you're right. He was rubbing that sack. Alright. So I could have gone this way. Okay, I see. So this is where I came from over here, then. Well, what's over here? You think where I came from at some point. Ah, yes. Nightmare juice. Puzzles many sides, only some are visible, huh? Okay. Yeah, I really wandered pretty far, I guess. While I was, Oh, no. Here I am. Okay. There's a riddle here, though. A puzzle has many sides. Only some are visible. Why is it the same, Faust? What do you mean? I think that the drugs are mostly worn off. We gotta find one of those hidden Riddler icons. Okay, question mark. Gotta look where the sun don't shine, huh? I was trying to make a we're stuck in a nightmare already, so nightmare juice doesn't work joke, huh? Oh, I gotcha, I gotcha. Yeah, we are stuck in a nightmare world right now. Up here would be a good spot for one of these puzzles. Where the sun don't shine, be underneath. Of course, we're in Arkham Asylum, and the sun don't shine nowhere. Are these all booby traps still? Yes. I have a recollection of this somewhat. I remember being like on a door frame for some reason. Speaking of wandering around doing nothing, guys, tonight on birthday of time, we're going to be trying to document more of those stone statues. We're doing pretty well. I think by the end of the stream, we'll be done with all of them. Hoping that if I talk to all those stone statues, I'll get a hint on where the last heart piece could be. It wouldn't be unheard of. I think it's a very low possibility. Scarecrow's plans are always so see-through. He's like Bruce Jenner. He's got a transparent career. Okay. Transparent, I get it. At first I was like, transparent. I get the trans part. What's the parent part? I guess. The whole club was looking at her. I bet I know what Batman's thinking right now. Apple bottom jeans, boot with the fur. It's a weird sound you hear in this spot. Oh, there's shells on the ground. I think I'm kicking them around. Weird sound. Sounds like a spray paint can to me. Just looking for a random thing. It's like playing Zelda, except that at least I know it's in this room. Just run Spotify on the job. He probably is. Look at his fucking glowing eyes. He was gonna have some kind of radio in his ear, right? If I had a built-in speaker thing in my cowl, I totally would. But what about your awareness, though? Lower your awareness, right? That's why if you're riding a bicycle, you're not allowed to wear headphones. Or you say, people say you shouldn't wear headphones. Who cares? I'm Batman. What are you gonna do about it? Throw me in jail? Maybe I'm not giving this thing enough credit, and I should pay more attention to the hints, right? Something about has a bunch of sides. What was the riddle? Can I read it again? Okay, I can right here. Somehow. Riddler's Challenge? How about that? There was some way to reread these. Maybe I can't in this game. Maybe think of Arkham City. Just looking for a little dot. Or a little curly Q. Cruising around the Batmobile causing massive pile-ups because I'm listening to D&B at max volume, dude. Yeah, you know the fucking Batmobile's got some kick-ass fucking sound system. Seems promising. X gonna give it to you. That really would be Batman's theme song, dude. I'm really surprised it's not just on the top. That may be the easy spot for it, huh? Aha! Aha! Close enough. But no save. Okay. So we gotta go back to the bottom now. This is where all the guys are that I killed. But they're over here. This is the other side. How long will I slide and separate my, side? Hey, here we go. Now I got some locked doors. It's being powered from in there. Oh, I need the range extender. Oh, what? Do I have that yet? I think I do, right? Yes! I know there's a time limit on these. I'm glad there's a limit. It makes it more fun. I feel like they get better with the auto-saving after completing a challenge. Oh, yeah, of course, yeah. Yeah, it's something that's pretty rare. I mean, for all the complaining I do about games auto-saves, my problem is really more in principle. Most games that autosave do a pretty good job of that whenever you actually do something worth collecting. But I still think that you should be able to manually save.
Care to tell me how these got in my office?
Simple, really. I put them there. Why? You don't like flowers?
I think the guards would be interested to know you've been out of your cell.
Oh, if you really were going to tell, you already would have.
How do you know I haven't already?
Oh, sweet. I like you. I really do. Even your name. Rework it a bit and we get...
Harley Quinn, like the clown. I know, I've heard it before.
It's a name that puts a smile on my face.
Guys, who of you guys in the chat would let Joker seduce you if it was Mark Hamill Joker? I would.
Hear my secrets.
How could you resist?
Go on.
Not here, my dear. Too many ears and eyes. Come back tonight. I'll be ready for you.
It's a pleasure to listen to. Okay. I just let Mark Hamill seduce me, he says. He'd just be like, take me. I am yours. This game looks amazing. I don't need to filter him through the Joker character, huh? Alright. X. Okay, so now we can finally advance. Dr. Crane plans on elevating fear to new depths. That's why I gotta go to the very bottom. I can go up there. Let's just do what we're supposed to do, guys. Let's not waste much more time. Oh, am I gonna die here? I'm good. Elevating fear to new depths, huh? Well, I mean, where's the elevator at? There's some guys over there. Oh, there they are. There's power.
So why is Scarecrow going down there? Who cares? I locked the door behind him. He ain't coming out again.
Can I get underneath you guys somehow? How am I gonna get in there, do you think? They're talking a bunch of shit. Ah, there's a little staircase right here. Do the Batman walk. Hey guys, what do you got here? Yeet! Oh shit. Wrong button. I always hit R2 instead of L2 to throw my batarang. Come here, you goofball. Got him. Oh, sick. This ain't even a fucking Easter egg. This is a cool thing. You don't gotta be mad to work here, but it helps. Yeah, back when I was really strong in this game, Faust, I used to always critical strike everything. But now that I'm streaming it and I'm nowhere near as focused, it's going to be hard to implement, I feel like. But it is still good, though. The way I look at it right now is more of like a bonus, like a random critical hit, right? Like I'm getting a random buff to my number. Whereas at its best, of course, it's a reward for timing your attacks correctly. And well, hell of a good reward, too. It's a fun little mechanic. What other games have rewards for timing attacks correctly? I love me some FF13-3. That's an example. Mario RPG. Also a fun example. More XP because higher max combo. More combo finishers, etc. Yes, more finishers. And yeah, more XP. Okay, so now we can go further down. Gunblade, yes, yeah, Renzo Kukin. Oh, no, even just regular, right, when you're attacking with it, yeah. Yeah, it feels so good, right? More games should have that.
That guy freaks me out. Me too. What's he doing down here anyway? How's the boss let him walk around this place? I don't trust
Look, guys, they have a little gun container there. Ouch.
Don't let him hit you.
Oh, fuck.
Come on!
Ow!
Knock it to the ground!
Game's like counter, bro. Fuck. There comes a time where you have to only counterattack. It's really frustrating.
Up off the
Against one of those things they improved upon in later games. So when did it save? Ever?
Joker be pissed.
Okay.
Why should he?
So I still didn't find the riddle in here, so we're good.
So what's down there? Killer Croc cells.
The thing about waiting for counters is that you don't know when they're going to attack you. They don't have their AI is not good enough to like constantly attack. In later games, they attack much more predictably. In this game, they sort of attack somewhat unpredictably. Like how come he didn't attack me right there? Other games, he definitely would have attacked me already. And I could have just countered. Whee. Let's hack this thing again. I think that, you know, in later games, they came to realize the real strengths of the free-flow combat system. This game, it really functions more as like a really fun third-person, you know, action game, with where the free-flow sort of, you know, kind of enhances that experience. But it's not the core experience of the gameplay, right? Like that maybe wasn't the idea. It's sort of like a fun way to, it's like a fun spin on third-person action. Whereas in later games, they came to really double down on the free flow, which I think was to the game's ultimate benefit, right? In this game, there are a lot of situations where a combo is kind of, it's not fair to say it's forced to drop, but it'll almost certainly drop due to an inconsistency with the flow of combat.
That guy freaks me out.
And it's not the end of the world if you consider that, you know, the point was not the flow, right? If you drop a combo, it's no big deal, if you look at it from a certain perspective.
Just another distraction for the back. Suits me fine.
Oh, hey.
What do you mean?
I wish I'd played City. This was the only one I tried.
Not bothering us.
City is amazing. But if you didn't enjoy this one, you probably wouldn't enjoy City either. If you did enjoy it, though, you really need to play some City. City's really godlike. So what do we have here? I wish I could look at this. Oh, I can. Oh, it's photographs. That's when the Joker's coming in. The hell? Skulls? Some Easter eggs of the developers? Dear Sir or Madam, I'm writing to inform you that your relative is solo res is something and will be confined to an inhumane floating cage in some creepy dungeon. Wow, this is amazing. You have no legal recourse in this decision and may be liable for all costs incurred for the treatment of your psychotic family member. Best regards from all of us at Arkham Asylum Rehabilitation Services. Have a nice day. The Joker and Pals. Signed, The Joker. No, so it's Professor J. Southgate. So many little details. Oh, it's Looney. Your relative is Looney and will be confined to an inhumane floating cage in some crazy dungeon. Wow. So true. Anybody else find it kind of dumb that Arkham Knight had a bat tank? I loved the bat tank. My problem was a matter of core gameplay. Core gameplay. That's why I hated the bat tank. I liked the bat tank sections even. They were fun. I liked dodging the bullets and dodging the lasers and stuff. That was really cool to me. It's just that there was too many of them and they detracted from what the game does best, which is stealth and punching. I played City, that's where I stopped, says Faust. If you played this and wanted more map freedom, you would really like City, yeah. This game is awesome, dude. This game is awesome. It's interesting to me that they decided against making the next game Metroidvania, considering that's a pretty big strength of this game. Like, getting gadgets to open up new pathways is done pretty well in this game. To me, it's bizarre they totally let that slip. Oh, here we go. This is where the Scarecrow hangs out. So he has mushrooms there, maybe to make his toxins with or something. But yeah, the next game has none of that. They replaced the Metroidvania parts with open world exploration. Which itself is great. It's really fun in that game. It's just weird to me that they changed, you know, the genre in that respect. I like open world exploration. It's done well in that game. And again, they improve upon pretty much everything in this game otherwise. The combat's better in City. The story might be considered better in some ways. Oh no, I probably haven't saved yet. Oh. Fuck this guy up. Oh, wrong button. Bonk. Bonk. Maybe it's been with the went on the open world craze. Yeah, maybe you're right, Dix. For some reason I didn't consider that, but you're almost certainly right. Thankfully, it's a cool choice. Will I play the confined game or the open one? Gives me some nice choice. That's true as well, good vibe. At the time when City came out, that was my feeling. My feeling was that both games were great, and I still feel that way, that both are great, probably the best in the series for my money, 1 and 2. And that they offer different experiences, which is kind of fun. So they've changed the menu here. Monday, off owl, intestine, tripe, leftovers, and crocodile. There's even some faded out marks there. Brawn, oh, that's the... Why did it say menu, though? Batman don't kill, but he cripples them for life. He's a hero, huh? Dude, at least I can stay alive. Now I gotta play the newest one. Arkham Knight's really cool. But it doesn't have the polish, man. I feel like, when I talk about classics, dude, we talked about that earlier in the stream. We're talking about games that, you know, they stand out, or they took a previous game's mechanics and expanded upon them in some meaningful way. These games are so well polished, Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, they're masterpieces. And yeah, Arkham Knight adds a bunch of stuff, but they didn't really improve on anything, really. And a lot of things they added just kind of detract from what they already had. So it just feels like, you know, more for the sake of being more, without actually, you know, making it better. And it lacks, again, it lacks that polish. And you kind of feel like with these games, the first two, they really wanted to make every aspect of it, like, perfect. They really went hard on, you know, engineering the game with, you know, polish in mind. For Night, I felt like, again, it felt kind of fluffy. Very fluffy and loose, and like, lots of stuff thrown at the wall, seeing what sticks. It's kind of a drag that way. It reminds me a lot of the fucking, you know, the movies, right? Batman Begins, Batman, The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight Rises. And, you know, Dark Knight Rises wasn't a terrible film. It just didn't have that same polish the ones had. It was kind of, like, pointless. Offal is like organs and leftover meat from animals. Oh, really? Is that pronounced awful? I've never heard that before in my life. Hands off my locker. Very cute. Yeah, I enjoy Arkham Knight. It's cool. There are a lot of things I would change about it if I were in charge. And to me, it doesn't compare at all to the first two games in terms of the level of polish. These things are just better. They're more well-rounded experiences than Night is. Don't at me. I had somebody in the chat come by that mentioned that they love Night for it being so large and having a lot of secrets hidden around. You think I feel the same way, but I really didn't as much in that game. Could just be that I was biased because I didn't really enjoy the other aspects that much. Maybe the actual exploring and treasure finding actually is better in that game than in this game. But to me, it feels like it's more, you know, it's more well-engineered in this game. Oh. That's fucking creepy as fuck. I guess that's meat, huh? That's why it's at the menu. We're near the kitchen somewhere, I guess. Okay. Control room access. There's a tape. Must be Killer Croc, huh? We're getting near where Croc's gonna be. Helps us eat it. Eat the meat there?
You think I'm scared of you, Cash? I've got your scent. You're
You better be scared of me, bro. I can punish you. I have power over you. Cash's kind of an asshole.
Again, Mr. Cash. It's not helping. I'm sorry about the comment.
What's up, Rick? I'm Batman. Where were the drugs going? I don't know. I swear to God, I don't know. Where were the drugs going? I could be Batman. I need to get in shape.
And I'll kill him. And then cash. Then you. In your dream.
Where is she? So J-Bomb says, the thing about Knight that really rubbed me the wrong way is that to get the good ending, you have to find every Riddler trophy before you can put him in jail. The only thing that stopped me from 100%, huh? I didn't even know that. Yeah, it sounds like a pain in the ass. Croc could never be in an asylum, you'd think. Huh? Well, they locked him in a fucking... They locked him in a fucking sewer, basically. He's not really in the asylum, necessarily. We already talked to Cash about that. But we talked before on previous streams about what a bizarre idea it is that in the Batman universe you have this asylum, which acts as like a prison for supervillains. I guess the argument is that to be a supervillain, you must be insane. Right? You're not just a regular criminal, you're a supervillain. It means you're mentally unwell. But I don't think that's really how that works. But that's kind of one of the conceits, about this franchise. Yeah, take it for what it is. Yeah, suspend your disbelief, I guess. Is that a pod? So I need these spores.
Batman! One step closer, and this goes into the water.
Jesus.
The cave will fill with your deepest, darkest nightmares, and you will never reach your precious venom.
I said one step closer, and Batman just walked up on his ass.
Don't do it, Crane.
Oh my God! Oh no! Gotta save the Scarecrow now? Jesus. I don't remember it that well, Faust. All I remember is the boss fight. Is there like an actual, like a whole thing with Killer Croc? I think probably because of the look and actions more than anything. Has anyone watched the Batman movie starring the actors from the TV show? You mean the classic Batman movie? Or do you mean that new animated series, the new animated movie that came out? That one was pretty good. If you saw Scarecrow, you knew that guy's insane. Oh yeah, well he might be different. But in a lot of cases, I kind of feel like, they're making an argument, they're taking a position that if you are evil, you are insane. Which might be true, depending on your philosophy. But it does seem sort of like a stance to take. Yeah, exactly, J-Bomb. Yeah, that was a really fun movie. With the old school actors. I'm sure that's what D-Scott's talking about. Yeah, the one from the 70s. Yeah, I haven't seen that one. Mostly because of my own personal phobias. I think he pops out of the water on you a bunch or something. Huh? I remember that part. There was like a boss fight against him where he does that. Maybe there's longer than I remember being. Maybe it just seemed longer to you because you just got that phobia. Is the scare serum like alligator nip for Croc? I don't think so. But maybe it was. Maybe it's the fucking lore. I'm on board, yeah. That could be the lore. That's why you grabbed him right there. Whee! If you choose to be a criminal in a city where Batman presides over it, you have to be insane. No, that could be. I don't get in there. Is there some goodies in there or nah? I'm gonna die if I do that. I probably won't die though. I won't die. Grab it, Batman! No! Yeah. Like Poison Ivy, she has a philosophy and thinks you're evil, so why an asylum? Yeah, that's kind of my argument as well. It's sort of silly, but it's one of those kind of, it's like, suspend your disbelief. It's one of the conceits of the universe. They all go to the asylum because they're supervillains. I want, there's still a few that are locked, huh? Oh, they're all health upgrades that are locked. Oh. Well, fuck that. Poison Ivy's a crazy plant lady, says Dix. He's nuts. No, Batman fell in the doo-doo water, bro. He's used to it. These guys can't smell good, these fucking supervillains. You gotta believe that, right? He's used to the smell. What's this? Some Frogger shit? I guess that's supposed to go across, huh? Overthinking it. I really would like for like a fucking like a log to come down. That would be sick. They fuck with that a little bit in Arkham City, I believe, as I recall. Lots of jumping onto floating things and pulling stuff around. Very fun games. Fun little mechanic. I don't think it's in this one at all. Some gang members are crazy drug ladies, but they ain't in an asylum. Are they crazy plant ladies, though? Whee! Oh, my lord! I got jump scared. I got jump scared. Faust! What's over there? Point out I can control plants too, like test that lady. I think that's what they're doing. Like they're experimenting on her, I think, a little bit. Probably why she's in the asylum, not a prison. This place is pretty creepy. Oh, I know where this is.
Batman, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Have you found Croc's lair yet?
I'm close to Croc's lair. I'll contact you when I have more information.
Is there a jump scare here? The old sewer. What was that other path down there then? I got spooked counter. Isn't the lore for this that the guy who made Arkham went insane himself? Yes. Yes, it is. He's sort of his own supervillain. Oh, that's where I'm supposed to go. Good. Okay. So I'm somewhere I've already been, looks like. Which suits me fine. I'm having fun exploring. And I have new gadgets now, too. Could find more treasure. Are there plenty of gang members running around the asylum, though? Maybe they're the crazy druggies. Well, they explained that earlier, Dix. Joker staged a fire at Blackgate Prison so that they'd have to get moved to the asylum. There's normally not that many gangsters here. But the gangsters are here because they ran out of space at the prison because they kind of burned it down. And some really masculine-looking chicks. What's wrong with that, dude? I guess because there's no other prisons, if I had to assume, Dix. That's kind of the plot. I mean, it's a goofy plot, probably, but that's the idea. They gave us that impression early on. That it was all part of Joker's plan to have his gang moved here.
Batman, we're running out of time. The plants are taking over. Find Croc's lair. Hurry.
Leave me alone, Oracle. I'm doing fucking side quests and stuff. I know where this would need to be. It need to be on top, right? It's meant to be real secure there, the asylum. Oh, shit. Where am I? Where am I going? This way, I guess. We're looking for a Joker perspective puzzle. It's got to be up on top, right? Remember last time we were up there? And there was hella secrets we could do up there? But we couldn't figure out what they were. Yeah. It's got to be around here somewhere. Up on, way on top, you would think. Sure is creepy. Very atmospheric. So we went around the outside this way, right? Or I just hooked. Let's just do it the way we're supposed to go this time. So before we couldn't do this, but we actually cheated. We did a little sequence breaking last time. We don't have to anymore though. We can do this the way we're supposed to do. You might check out Kingdom Hearts Critical Mix Overhaul thing. What the hell is that? Never heard of it. Is it a patch for the game to run an emulator? So if I had to guess, I'd say that the puzzle is going to be solved around here somewhere. Because you can climb these pillars, and there appears to be no reason to do that. Like, why would they even have these here if there's no reason to do them? This must be where the perspective puzzle is. You patched the game to overhaul the mechanics. Yeah, so it must be it for emulator. If there's no PC version, to my knowledge, of any of the Kingdom Hearts games. Kingdom Hearts 3.1876 over 2 over Omega LX11. That's my favorite. Only real Kingdom Hearts fans play that one, though. Yes, come on. Give me something secret up here, man. What the fuck? How can there be nothing up here? It doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, why even have this up here if there's nothing up here? Oh, can I hookshot across there? Oh, son of a bitch. Please tell me yes. Oh, this is getting sick now. New territory. Okay. Now I'm pumped. I saw this last time, but I'd given up on getting up here. Apparently you can. Apparently you can animation cancel this, huh? Seems... I mean, you must be able to animation cancel, you know, previously. Maybe not all animations. But, I mean, it's an action RPG. I'm pretty sure there's some animation canceling. Oh, hey, there's a thing over there. Cool. Something was canceling something, you would think. Maybe you mean, like, defensively? Okay, get a trophy. That's fun.
That one was hidden so well it was almost invisible.
But where is the perspective puzzle? Yeah, you can dodge up and attack. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, like defensively. Okay, up there. Oh, son of a bitch. A hook shot, please. Please. No, I have to pull off. Man, I still don't have all the gadgets. In my mind, I did have all the gadgets, but I don't. I gotta come back here later. Cause I only have the single claw. If you have a triple claw, you can pull those down. Fine. I'll leave. I'll go where I'm supposed to go, I guess. Whee! So much fun. Okay, where am I? Oh, I'm still up here. I'm right where I jumped off in the first place, I think. Okay, I don't even know where I want to go. Flagging's so fun in this game. Okay. This is where I came from, I think. They call him Bad Eye. So this is probably a patch of what? The first Kingdom Hearts? I guess. So where else can I go? I was just... Oh, there's a path to my right, right? Where does this go? The first game, okay. You fan of Kingdom Hearts at all, Faust? Aha, there's a trophy over there. I enjoyed the first game a lot, and I enjoyed Kingdom Hearts 2, but thought it was a step back in some ways. In terms of, like, mechanical depth. I felt like it was more button mashy, it was a lot, you know, more trivial. I felt like the recovery of your animations made it more interesting. Did I get this last time, my dumbass?
New brick, metal and paint covered old wounds. Fresh blood was injected into the body. Bright new minds came, and all swore to uphold our promises. We all knew we were the ones to fix this city, and the city would thank us.
Oh, he's nuts, dude. So Faust likes the first and second games, that's about it really, huh? Way too many spin-offs and shit for me to get more invested. Haven't even bothered with Kingdom Hearts 3 yet. I played Chain of Memories on the Game Boy Advance, and I thought it was pretty cool. It wasn't, you know, very polished. It felt sort of, again, fluffy. I use the word a lot when criticizing games. Kind of like vapid. But it was cool for what it was. They remade it for PS2 later on. Which to me is kind of a shame, since that's the version that you see nowadays and all the compilations. But that game had some beautiful sprite work. It's not going to be more or less lost to history. Because people, you know, only play the PS2 version. That's one of those kind of bizarre things. I'm going for the Batcave. I remember being very confused and angry when I started Kingdom Hearts 2 and had no idea what was happening. The
Batman,
GBA
we're running out of
game
time. The plants are taking over. Find Croc's lair. Hurry.
doesn't really help that much with that. It helps a little bit with that. All because they had a random spin-off title that had plot crucial info. If you played it, you'd be surprised, dude. it doesn't really explain anything. It's supposed to be mysterious in
Scan
Kingdom Hearts
and
2.
open.
Sick little animation here. All the Kingdom Hearts game on Game Boy Advance explained was who Naminé is, even then just a little bit. Like, they introduced her as a character. That's really all you missed out on. They don't explain anything about Rockets or anything like that. That's totally meant to be like, what the hell's going on? Yeah, they introduced Naminé, and that's really all you get in that game. I didn't even know Sora was in gay baby memory jail. Yeah. Oh, look at that. I can fucking kick this shit. What? Amazing. But yeah, I can't knock that down because I don't have the triple claw. But I want a triple claw. Can I get that here while I'm here? Can I use my my hook shot, my line launcher to help me unlock it? That's what I want. I want to go through there. I want the upgrade so bad. Kingdom Hearts is generally incomprehensible. That's half the fun, huh? Yeah, I'm exactly with you, Faust. I've never played any Kingdom Hearts game aside from 1 and 2, and in my case, Chain of Memories. I bought a bunch of them. I played a couple of the DS ones, and I hated them both within the first, 3 hours. I just could not fucking stand the way they controlled with no right stick, and I gave up. So I haven't played Kingdom Hearts 3 pretty much for that same reason. I kind of lost track of the franchise. This is so cool. This game's so cool. But yeah, I feel like the first game is the best for my money that I've played. And 2 was really cool. It was more higher production value, it seemed like. Maybe a cooler story in general. But I felt like the combat became much more button mashy because they took away that weight of attacks, which might have been for the best for the franchise, considering that a lot of players were kind of frustrated about how heavy everything was. But I look at it more like a Dark Souls problem, right? Sometimes being heavier is important for making the game, more critical, making your decisions have more consequences, right? I should say that I would play Kingdom Hearts 3, but I don't own a console and I'm not buying one. Maybe they'll release it on PC one day. I don't see why they wouldn't. It's not exclusive to PS4, is it? It's on Xbox One and PS4, so maybe they'll port it to PC one day, as Squaresoft does with a lot of their stuff. I would try Kingdom Hearts if I had unlimited time and unlimited money. But aside from that, I'm not that interested in it. I'm not a huge Kingdom Hearts fan. I fell off. I think that, part of that's because of, as Faust points out, the way they kind of marketed the franchise over time. I wanted Kingdom Hearts 3, and they kept adding more characters and adding more spin-offs, and I sort of lost. I really wanted to learn more about Sora and Riku and all those characters, right? Instead, they added a bunch more that I didn't care as much about, and I kind of fell off. I call that the Homestuck problem. It's a really cool environment to have nothing in it. Just be a little transitional area. It's almost midnight, guys. I should probably wind this up. Wrap it up, dude. Play some Zelda. The Homestuck problem. I think a lot of media, a lot of narratives suffer from that. And that's my moniker for it. The Homestuck problem is when you have characters that you get a reader or an audience really attached to. What the fuck is this? There's a computer there. And you delay the resolution of their conflicts by adding more new characters with more new conflicts. And if you do that enough times for long enough of a long enough period of time, you're gonna lose the audience that fell in love with your franchise for those initial characters and those initial problems, those initial conflicts. Their stories. I think it's really cool when games add new characters, or should I say narratives add new characters and add new conflict. That's really important even for maintaining momentum over time. If you want to have a long story, you have to constantly add characters and add new conflicts, right? But you must also return to your previous characters, your established characters, and also, make progress toward their conflicts as well. You must meter it out. I felt like I fell off on Homestuck because I loved Homestuck for the first, what, long ass time. I probably read like 10,000 fucking episodes of it. But there came a point where they lost track of everything that first got me into the series. And at that point, I kind of started to fall off a little bit. That same thing happens with Kingdom Hearts, where, the first 2 games were their own story with these main protagonists, and then they kept adding more and more and more protagonists, and I sort of lost touch. I never played Kingdom Hearts. I didn't get why I'd want to play Final Fantasy with Disney characters. It was very novel and very pretty, which I think you guys will agree is a major selling point for JRPGs as a genre. That's really, I think, what sold all of us on Kingdom Hearts. When that game was first announced, it was literally announced on April 1st. And I was certain that it was a April Fool's Day joke, and was surprised that people were taking it seriously at all. Then that first trailer came out, and I was like, oh wow, I gotta play this game.
I'm heading into Croc's lair to collect the plant spores Ivy
because it had all those JRPG tropes
He's in
I
some
love.
kind of old sewer network. Send me the schematics. It's like a maze down here.
There's nothing on record. Bruce, are you sure about this? Sounds like a suicide mission.
I've got no choice. I've tuned the scanner to detect the spores required to make the antivenom. It'll lead me straight to them.
What about Croc?
Croc's just an animal. And animals just need traps and the right bait. I'll be fine.
Autosave, guys. It'll be fun for tomorrow.
You when I'm done.
Cool. It's gonna be a fun little mini game for tomorrow. Weird little UI though. It feels sort of like, comic booky, which I think was sort of an aesthetic they had with this game that kind of lost in follow-up games. What's up, Zanzu? Wait, Bruce is Batman? Spoilers. God damn, I'm sorry you had to show up there, Zanzu. You came at the wrong time. You're going the wrong way, you dummy. Hope you have an okay night, Zanzu. I know you're going through some stuff. Hopefully you're at least well taken care of, more or less. All I'm saying is, Faust, I've never seen Bruce and Batman in the same room together. Talking about Kingdom Hearts, Faust, Zanzu. About Kingdom Hearts and how it came out of nowhere and became a much beloved franchise. You're sick as heck, staying home. Good, I'm glad you're staying home. I'm sorry to hear that you're sick, though. Hopefully you're taking good care of yourself as much as you can. Yeah, grab with that love, guys. Those love grabs. What's up, Wise? Batman's Bruce Campbell, huh? Spoilers, dude. Spoilers. I'm gonna go for a short break, guys, and come right back with some Ocarina of Time. I'm gonna end the night with some retro games. Guys, as usual, if you guys enjoy hanging out, I'll keep the channel on. Check my Patreon page at patreon.com/Vencabot. I stream full time. When I'm not streaming, I'm working on the stream behind the scenes. It is pretty much my whole life, guys. I work tirelessly on the stream. Some of you guys know better than others. Some of you guys, I think nobody in the chat, nobody's ever, a friend I've made to the stream, no one really understands just how much work goes into the stream. It's really exhausting, and I think that wiser men than me would argue that a lot of the work I do in the stream is sort of masturbatory. It's sort of not the most critical of work that needs to be done, but I am a creator. I'm a creative. I have my own creative ambitions for the stream, and I do put a lot of work into it. If you guys are enjoying it, Patreon's great, Twitch subs are great. It helps me be able to do the things that I love and make this content, hang out with you guys. I really do believe in this channel. You get up for free as well. Subscribe on YouTube. New videos daily. That's every single day. That's one of the things I do. We have actually today, guys, we crossed 300 subscribers on YouTube. We crossed 300 subscribers. I am extremely proud of that. I think we're doing some kind of like special content to celebrate that. I haven't decided exactly what yet, but that's really exciting to me. I put a lot of work into that channel. Again, new videos daily now for 3 years. And hopefully the channel continues to grow, both on Twitch and on YouTube. Also, you can help for free by following on Twitter at Vencabot. You can, of course, hang out here. You can save clips. I'll help the channel out more than you could possibly realize. I mean, just knowing, if you guys knew how much, pride and satisfaction and warmth I get from you guys hanging out here and from, seeing the analytics kind of reflecting that the stream is healthy and doing well, it's a huge relief for my soul. So you guys that hang out here and chat and are friendly and make the channel what it is, that is the most clutch way to help the channel out. That means so much to me. I'll go over for sure, guys. Come right back with some Zelda. I'll see you guys very shortly. Until then, peace out. I'll be back in 5-10 minutes here. What am I saying, guys? This is Vencabot stream. I'll be back in 20 minutes, hopefully no more than that. I'm tired all the time, Cool Hand. The word tirelessly is such a funny word, right, Cool Hand? Tirelessly. Nobody understands me. I'm a creative. 24-hour stream, dude. Sometimes I wonder about the implications of mankind being wiped out, and the only thing that survives the purge is Venka's YouTube channel, huh? I think that if aliens saw it, they'd think that humanity was really goofy, but that we had a good time and were warm to each other, and that would be a reflection of humanity that I'd be pretty proud to put into the future. One reason, again, creatively, that I really love the YouTube channel and why I put so much work into it is that I think that what we do here is something kind of positive. And I think if we put that out into the world and save it for posterity, that it's actually kind of a good thing. There's a lot of content on YouTube for people to watch and enjoy that represents a variety of different values. And I think that, when I look back at our old streams, I'm really proud of, the fun we had, the water effect was pretty bad, the conversations we've had, the games we've played, the thoughts, opinions that were shared in that stream. And again, the friendship, meeting new people, the kindness.
In peace.
It's something that I really love looking back on and thinking, wow, I'm glad that we can still enjoy that again. But it gets pretty low viewership. Our channel is not the highest viewed channel on YouTube. Again, we only have 300 subscribers. We average around like 15 views per video, which I'm very proud of that. I think that a lot of creators would struggle to have anybody watch their videos, and that was me, for a long time. And it might seem small compared to some other channels, but the fact that anybody even clicks those videos means a lot to me. But I mention that because it's not the best YouTube content. I know that. People that want YouTube stuff, they want it to be edited. They want it to be something they can watch in 10 minutes and enjoy and take something from, which I totally respect. I think that this format that we do, this this long play format of playing for 3 hours and changing games every 3 hours, is really more functional as a live experience. But I still, like I mentioned earlier, feel like archiving it and saving it is ultimately a good thing. Maybe I put too much work into it, but time will tell. I still do believe in it. I'm glad you enjoy it, D-Scott. Yeah, I put a lot of work into it. Really a lot of work into it. Not just in terms of like actual labor, but in terms of like design, a lot of careful thought. It's something that I'm really proud of, and you guys make it a success. If not for you guys, I would not have any direction on this channel. I would not have ever started streaming. I wouldn't have continued streaming. I wouldn't have all these ideas and these plans, things I want to do. And that excitement, that feeling that I want to do something, that I'm able to do it, is something you guys give me in that way. And that, again, I can never repay you guys for that. A lot of people out there, when I'm the most depressed, I've talked to Faust about this in the past, right? As someone that's chronically depressed, I can tell you guys, I'm sure a lot of you guys are the same way. The way that depression often manifests itself is feeling like nothing is interesting to you, right? Like the things that you find interesting normally are boring, or they're vapid, or they're pointless. And there's just not that excitement about things that you normally love. That's a big part of what depression is like. And the fact that I have this outlet, and you guys make it exciting for me, is something that is, a motivator in my life. It's a motivator in my life. And that's something that I don't take for granted. Anyway, guys, I'm going to get to tell this out of here. Thank you for your patience. Wow. He jumped a little further than I thought he was going to jump.